You said something on Twitter a couple of weeks ago that I thought it just hit, man. You said being asleep is the new woke. And I felt that shit because I feel like the pendulum has like if you think about everything in the last 6-7 years, right? It almost feels like it's swung so far the other way that you're desensitized, like even with some of this mass deportation shit, right? It's like there's the conversation of like obviously there was an issue at the border, the shit was popping. I think that's a different conversation. Or yeah, we got to have the border under control because whether or not you think that nations should have borders or not, there was a mass influx of human beings coming into a place that might not have been ready to receive them infrastructurally. Compared to like, hey, it's turned into like it kind of being okay to be like, I just see this like anti-immigrant narrative that's just like everyone's kind of desensitized to that. Does that make sense?
I think we almost desensitized to everything at this point in time. A robot could walk down the street and we'd go about our day.
Well, it's like the alien stuff. No one seems to have cared about these alien hearings that happened.
They don't.
It's like
it's what we consider fast consumption culture, right? And fast culture is what I call it as well, where we learn about something, but then something new happens, and then we lose that attention. So it's like if you look at AI, if the average person studies DeepSeek right now, right, this new competitor to ChatGPT, and you master it, that's $1 million skill. But instead, you keep jumping to the next thing, right? It's more important to master one thing, get a depth of knowledge, and focus on that, and then shut out everything else. You don't need to know all the news. Why do you need to keep up? The news have you misinformed. Right? Because now you're operating off legacy media agenda. Find somebody that you trust as a voice and just use them to learn when you want to keep updates with things. But otherwise, if you're just constantly consumed in the news, you're going to be fearful, number one. And that fear is not good when you want to go do stuff yourself. Right? So now you're like, well, why should I do anything? The world about to end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's about to happen. And now you find yourself researching conspiracies that have nothing to do with any of your goals.
Right.
Right? If this not going to empower you, then it's not worth anything to you.
Right.
And I think that that's another dangerous thing is that we are losing our ability to respond to things. We just react. If you go look on Instagram and YouTube, it's just reaction videos, right? But
it is.
Ability to respond is responsibility. So we're lacking our ability to respond, which means we're not being strategic with anything. We're just reacting, and that's not us actually taking in any information and said, all right, this is the best way that I want to respond now, right? This is how we move forward. That's a growth thinking.
Right.
We have a low-level thinking right now in the world where I have a book that I'm writing, and it's about how high-level conversations can change the world, right, and transform your own world. And it starts off talking about our neocortex, which is the part of a brain that allows us to have these kind of conversations, right? Our critical thinking, right? Our ability to think beyond nuance. And that's when we become more aware and conscious. And the reality of it is most people not activating their neo, all right? They neo to escape the matrix. They have neocortex. We becoming devolved, not evolved. When you focus on survival, you're just trying to get through the day. Right? When you focus on evolution, you want to advance in life. So coming from where we come from Oakland and St. Louis, it's all survival. And I seen a brother, I believe it was the brother Jeff Gordon. He was having a conversation on how most of our language is around survival. How you doing? Oh, I'm just getting through it. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with you, man? Ain't nothing to it, maintaining. You feel me? I'm just surviving, just barely getting to it. Like all of this is just barely, no, it had to change to evolution. You know what I mean? I'm growing daily.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm on the move. Everything is upward. You feel me? Like, we don't even have the vocabulary for growth. And when you get around different people, what you start doing is you start taking their habits and speaking like them. And when you speak like them, you move like them, you think like them, you start shifting. You feel me? So the game is how do we go from survival to evolution, right? How do we go from thinking local, which is localism, then you got nationalism, national pride in your country, then globalism, thinking about the world, what's going on in Palestine and Congo. Then you got cosmism, right? Our connection to the cosmos, which is what our ancestors all had. all our ancestors had an attention and a consciousness connected to the cosmos. They all charted the stars. They all moved with agriculture and astronomy, right? There wouldn't have been no ancient Kemet, land of the blacks, unless they understood the star positions and when the water was going to come in and the cycles, and then they was able to create more food for their people and grow their population. But we don't have that no more. We so local in local activity, local problems. That keeps us emotionally down all day, worrying about this bullshit on the news.
Facts.